I'm Val Jeffrey of The Better Part. My guest today is a very talented, award-winning artist who produces her own program on public access television called Give Your Wool Some Soul. We'll find out more about the life and talents of Shannon Grissom when we come back.
Welcome to The Better Part, a program by and for seniors and devoted to exploring the many facets of those better years of our lives. The name of our program was inspired by a quotation from Robert Browning. Grow old along with me, the best is yet to be, the last of life for which the first was made. Now, sit back and enjoy a program made especially to provide seniors with useful information, plus some lighter moments to brighten your day.
Okay, here comes a good one.
Welcome to The Better Part. I'm Val Jeffrey. Shannon Grissom can be seen on several public access stations in the Bay Area. She creates her own TV program, Give Your Wool Some Soul, at Community Media Access Partnership, CMAP, in Gilroy. That's where I first met her. I had the opportunity to work with this beautiful, vibrant, talented lady when we teamed up as roving reporters for CMAP at the 2005 Garlic Festival. She's very passionate about her paintings, and it seems that the longer her hair grows, the more talented she becomes. I'd like you to meet Shannon Grissom, famous artist. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you. Thanks, Val, for having me.
Tell me about the famous artist badge.
How I became famous?
Yeah.
Well, the badge has made me famous. I needed a badge for chamber mixers, and when it came back, it said that I was famous. And I said, oh, I can't run around with this famous artist badge. And the gal said, you know what? The people that know you will know that you're not full of yourself. Everybody else is going to think you're famous. And that's how that happened. And now I'm actually listed in the phone book under F for famous artist. And thankfully under my name as well, or nobody would really find me. So it's been wonderful.
What about the next badge? What's that going to
Well,
say?
I ordered one this morning because I really believe in positive thinking that says rich and famous, because I decided I might as well have the money too.
Well, you've got the talent, so
Thank you.
now you're going to have the money. You came from a talented family. Tell me about your family.
Thank you. My mom was a music major, and all of my sisters play instruments, and my dad is gifted with any kind of design work and wood carving, and so it was a very creative family. It was great environment to grow up in.
And you play the piano?
Play the piano and the clarinet. I haven't kept up on the clarinet, but yeah.
You sing?
Yes.
More talents?
But I do the music as a hobby. I don't do that professionally.
What did you do before you started painting?
Well, I had a number of jobs, and everything, I would say the common thread was that they were all high-stress customer service type positions. And the last job I had was at, I don't know if I can say the company name, but anyway, I was a recruiter, and I handled the on-site staffing needs. So people would funnel resumes to me, and I helped fill those jobs. And I finally asked, when my commissions became so great that it was hard to keep up with everything and I needed to work part-time, I asked them to find me a part-time job. So my last job was at Apple Computer making access badges. I was the badging lady.
I bet your doodle pads look really, really pretty though.
It was great. I made myself a fun badge before I left.
When did you realize that you wanted to be an artist?
You know what? It wasn't until I was 32 that I even knew that I wanted to paint. When I was in high school, I painted a little bit, but I never took any art classes. In fact, I thought I was going to be a rock star. And then when I was 32, I took this adult ed class, and I painted this apple, and it wasn't that great, and but I knew that that's what I was supposed to be doing. I had so much fun, and I remember thinking, I painted one apple, and I remember thinking someday I would be able to paint an entire painting. And from that day on, I got up every morning between 3 and 4. I would paint every day before work, and fine, that was in 1992, and by 1998 I was able to leave my day job and start painting full time.
It must have been a bit scary going from a full-time job to not knowing where the money's come. How did that transition happen?
It was very scary. I did the part-time job at Apple, and then I did that. And so I started teaching classes to help cushion the blow. But then I tapered off from that and just really, really worked on learning the business side of art and the marketing side, and really working on, because it doesn't do any good to create all these paintings if you're not moving them. So I really have worked hard on the marketing aspect of that.
Who influenced you the most? Who gave you the confidence to do it? You know, why did you do it?
You know, well, initially it came from me that I just had to do this, and I talked to my husband, and he's incredibly supportive, and he's the opposite end of the spectrum, where he's logic and reason and careful, and to have somebody who is that logical and stable say, you know what, you can do this, you can make this happen, to have him support me, it's just, it's the best. I'm really, really lucky. When 9/11 hit and things really slowed down, I thought I was going to have to go back to the corporate world, and he said, you know what, hon, we'll just buy a smaller house. And I was like, oh God,
so sweet.
Oh God, that was, yeah.
But thank goodness you didn't.
I didn't
and
have
so
to.
Now we've got these wonderful paintings. There's just 2 up here, but I know you've done hundreds and hundreds of paintings, all of different things, right?
Yes.
Tell me about the different categories of paintings that you do.
I do traditional portraits, where you would sit for me, and I would paint some from life and some from photograph and do a portrait commission. I do figurative work, where it's entire bodies, and I love children, painting kids and people. I love flowers. I did a whole series of calla lilies. Fruit, I've done maybe 20, 30 pairs, just individual pairs. They're kind of like people for me. And
so if you look at me and you see a pair,
my girlfriends, they always, because I name them after people, and my friends always argue over who's the fat one.
Well, I hope I'm not the wrinkly one.
No.
What influenced your painting style?
My teacher, Michael Lindstrom, who was the biggest influence in my life, he really taught me about color and shared his love for color. And I don't paint like him, but what he gave me was invaluable. He gave me the tools to paint like me, and showed me what color could do.
Why such big paintings?
I stand up when I paint, and I feel restricted if I have to paint tiny. If I do paint tiny, they're very impressionistic, very loose, quick sketches. But when I paint, I feel free when I paint larger works. And this is my favorite size, actually, the 2 that I brought in today. And it's just what's really comfortable for me. And it doesn't matter what medium it is. I really like to paint big. The only time I paint tiny is when I sketch.
I noticed I saw a picture of your mother, and that's a really big painting, and her eyes are sparkling and she looks absolutely beautiful. Did you do that from a photo? Did she sit for you? How did that work?
No, that was after she passed away. It was from an old black and white photo, and I just, the painting is large. It's 60 inches tall by 48 wide, so it's a good sized painting. And I really just tried to capture her spirit and have her be with me when I painted it. So it felt good that she was there, that she came out for you. That's great.
Where do you keep her?
She's right by the piano,
Right by the piano.
in the living room. Yes, yes.
You wouldn't sell her?
No, you know what? Just about everything I do is for sale, but not my mother.
How do you decide this is what I'm going to paint?
Some of them are just hit me, where you just fall in love and you have to do it, and others are more for a specific reason.
Yeah. But you look at a subject, and what's the first thing that jumps out at you?
It's usually shiny or color. I love reflections in metal. Oh, God, that makes me happy. Like the highlight on that glass was the first thing I saw when I was setting up this still life. Or the color. So it's either going to be something sparkly that gets me going, or the color. I am more concerned about making something look three-dimensional and a form and have the color right, and I forgive myself some of my drawing flaws as long as I can get the color right.
And you do.
Thank you.
You do. I'm looking at the cowboy with his big feet here. How did you decide on the color, or was this the color? Was he wearing a yellow hat?
Oh no!
Tell me about this.
He's much too subdued. He wouldn't be caught dead with a yellow hat.
Who is it?
That's my husband. He wasn't feeling well, and he had stayed homesick, and then he was feeling better in the afternoon. I said, I had to do this. This was for the cover of the phone book, and I had to get this done. So would you just, all you have to do, I know you're not feeling well, would you just come out here and pose for me? And I said, okay. But he really didn't feel well. And so he went out there and posed. And in fact, it's a girl's hat. I mean, there's things he just wouldn't wear. And so he went out there, but he wasn't feeling well, so he didn't have a great smile on his face. So I changed the lips are more like me, and the hat I changed a lot. I got the basic setup because I wanted to see. I couldn't tell from that perspective how big the feet really would be if you were sitting like that. So I needed somebody to do it for me so that I could see. And then the color was just harmony. I wanted something bright and cheerful so that when you picked up that phone book to the cover of that, you didn't just go to another book. You really saw that and wanted to grab it and pick it up. So I went over the top with color, and that started me on over the top on my other paintings too. I pushed the color in this one, and that sent me over and sent me on a whole new journey.
Yeah. So you just changed the color and put you on.
Yes.
That's a red chair there, but
it was actually
blue.
it was a emerald green chair, and that was just a little too boring for me.
Green didn't work.
No, it wasn't as good.
Well, I love the color. I love the size of the feet too. Wow.
Thank you.
You know, color is such an important part. And as the seasons go by, there's different colors. Are you influenced by the seasons?
Greatly influenced. These were done in the summer. They're very warm, vibrant, hot. You'll see more saturated color in the fall. And in the winter, it's interesting. The red and green start popping, and in the spring, you'll see more purple and yellow in my work. So I've got my same basic palette, but it definitely evolves around the seasons.
Let's spend some time on the color. If you tell me what your primary colors are and how you mix them, and give our audience a feel for how you come up with your colors.
That sounds like fun. Okay, I'd be happy to. All right. I start out with titanium white, cad yellow deep, yellow ochre, cad red light. This is a perylene scarlet, and these are the warm colors that I really, they're pretty much in every palette setup that I have. Then on the cool side, we'll start off with a dioxazine purple and ultramarine blue, permanent green, and then this lovely red turquoise color. So I take my knife and I grab the pigment from the top and I mix down here. So I keep these colors clean.
Okay.
And I do my mixing down here. And let's just work on a bit of put some green here. Add a little bit of white. Now that's going to make it lighter, but it's not going to be as bright. It won't be as happy. So
I love the way you say happy.
Happy colors.
Happy colors.
Happy colors. That's important to me. Okay, so
it's interesting too that you've got green already mixed, because blue and yellow make green,
yet
you start with the green.
You know what, Michael used to call them cheater colors because they were already mixed.
Okay.
And you know what, it's just an expeditious way to do it.
Yeah.
And same thing with the purple. I could make a nice, I'll show you, I can make a nice little violet using this red, and a little bit of this blue, a little bit of white to bring this together. Okay, so I have a nice violet here.
Wow.
Oh, that's luscious. That's happy.
Oh, isn't it
that's
beautiful?
happy. Okay, so I can make a nice violet here, and that's a warm violet, as opposed to this tube violet that just straight out of the tube. Now you need to add some, and I love this color too, but you need to add some white to this in order for this to show up. I might add too much. So that's a cooler violet, a little different color.
Oh yeah.
But I could, by adding a little bit of warmth to it, I could get it
So
in
by
that area.
warmth, you mean the reds?
Reds. These are warm, and this is cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you were working on the green. Were you going to
Yes.
make that the color of my
Well,
jacket?
you know, I think
How
we'll
would
add
I
a
do that?
little bit of blue to this.
Okay.
So we're bluing it now. It's, you know what? Because this is such a strong color, I'm gonna have to move over a lot of this and just get it out of the way. Because I could add blue, and I don't have enough blue here. I could add blue to that all day and never get that color. So
Okay.
I'm going to see if we have enough of this blue. Add a bit of green. Oh, that's lovely. And let's see where we are.
Wow,
Needs more.
it's close
It's
already.
getting there, huh? And I'll hold it. I won't touch it. Oh, wow. That's pretty close. I'm not going to mess with that. And how I used to check color is I would hold my knife up to the object, and I would, oh, if I had a little piece of paper, I would look through a hole, and when a little piece of paper with a tiny hole in it, I'd look through the hole, and when my palette knife matched the object that I was looking at, then I knew that I had nailed the color.
Yeah.
And when I first started painting, and Michael worked with me, he made me match paint samples, and I mixed till I was blue in the face till I could come up with a color.
Yeah.
But it was really helpful. Now I know how to get there.
Yeah.
So you can only give me a few pigments, and I can say I can make a tube color by mixing just a couple here.
Right.
So it's a fun way to do. And I would say, as far as another, a nice warm color that also represents you, I'd grab some of this. And
That's a beautiful color
oh,
on its own.
I love that. And I'll add a little bit of. Now, what a nice. See, now you added that. I added a little bit of warmth to it, and it made a nice color. And let me see how that looks with the. I'm looking for something complementary to go with this. Yep, that was happy. So what I'm doing is, you have two bright colors. But they're opposite on the color wheel, so they're going to be happy together.
Yeah.
And that's I look for harmony, as in music. I look for harmony on the canvas.
Okay.
So
I'm going to go right out and buy lipstick and nail polish in that color because you've recommended it.
It'll look great. It would look good. Be a good color on you.
Okay. What about the oranges and yellows?
Well, I love the cadmiums, and these are for that extra little punch. And for a skin tone, I'll mix a little bit of cad and some white. You notice that is so strong. Again, you'd have to move a lot over and just use a little bit of that and add some more white to it. That's a nice little rosy cheek color. Mm-hmm. And for highlights on a face, you can't beat this cad yellow deep. That's just a nice.
So is it about half and half, or tell me the proportion?
Oh, it's funny because the first class I took was a toll painting class, and they actually said squeeze out an inch of this and an inch of that, and it doesn't always work that way with you squeeze out so much of this and you're going to get that. You are definitely. Things can change depending on the type of pigment that you use, the brand that you use. Mm-hmm. Some of them are like, you want to get good paint because the cheaper paint, it's like bad house paint. It's all filler and not,
right.
Where's the beef kind of thing.
Right.
So it's not, you have to, there's no substitute for getting out there and mixing and playing with it until you see what you can make with it. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that it's not just more than one color. You'll see that I'll add, in order to make like a nice gray, instead of, I don't have black on my canvas.
No,
so
you don't.
There was no black used in making of those shoes. No. So I would make one with a little bit of the blue, maybe some green. Oops, I should not have had white on my. Okay, so let's just take some red, purple, a little bit of green, tone that down.
Red, purple, and green.
Yeah.
About the same amount of each.
Yes.
And now we have black.
Now we have a nice dark color. Because in all reality, if black in sunlight, if you look at black in sunlight, it's not really black. It's lighter than white in the shade.
Yeah.
So, but that made a nice rich dark. And the other thing is that because you're using colors that are already there and already on your canvas, you're not adding some foreign color. You've got something that's already harmonious with what you're doing.
So they are going to tone in. But you see, I noticed when you started mixing the black here and you had some white in it, you didn't try to put it right. You started again.
Oh.
Is that a good rule to tell people?
Yes, because you could. What do they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Yes.
Well, I could mix this all day, but because I had that white in there, it's just going to make it'll be a lovely gray, but it'll never be there. It'll never get there. So it's like I admitted that I was wrong right away and said, okay, I need to start over. And I can't tell you after how many years of painting, I still make mistakes. I still throw paintings out. It's just how it happens. So, but that's all part of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was really, really good.
Thank
it's very
you.
interesting. I hope it's been helpful to people at home. Public access television. We're here at KMBT 15 in Mountain View, and your program, Give Some Awesome Soul, is at CMAP, Channel 20, I beg your pardon, in Gilroy. And I spoke to Suzanne St. John Crane and I said, tell me something about Shannon. And she said, she is the poster child for public access television. That was her word.
Oh my
She
goodness.
said, this woman came to me not knowing anything about television and is putting on a show. Regularly putting on a show. What made you get involved in public access television?
There was an exercise in Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way, and you had to list 10 people you were jealous of, what they had that you wanted, and how you could get there. And so it was a difficult exercise for me, but what I realized was that everybody on the list were people like Oprah. They all had, what they had in common was that they were all doing what they love for a living. And what I didn't realize that, I just didn't have a clue, was that they were all doing TV. And I thought, wow, I guess I want to do TV. Let's see, this month is going to be our 4th season.
Wow.
I'm really excited. Yeah,
Congratulations,
Thank
Shannon.
you.
Oh, but I want to talk about other aspects of your life too. 2005 was a really, really good year for you, right?
Yes.
You won the Wave Award here. You went to Las Vegas as a finalist in the ARTV Awards. You wrote and illustrated a children's book, Monkey Made of Sockies. He's been sitting there keeping us company all the way through this, and he looks pretty old. He's not a new socky.
Yeah, he was my mom's monkey. He was probably born around 1932, and when she passed away, I inherited the monkey, and so maybe a couple years after she passed, I started doing paintings of this monkey. Well, it evolved into a number of paintings, kind of like the pears, only more, and eventually I wrote the book, the children's book, Monkey Made of Sockies, and it's just grown. And I keep the monkey on the set of my show every episode, and that's just to remind me not to take myself too seriously.
And you've also tried your hand at reporting too. That's where I first met you.
Yes.
We did the Garlic Festival in Gilroy in 2005, and we were looking for garlic ice cream, right?
We had so much fun. You were just great to work with.
Okay, we've been looking for garlic ice cream. We haven't found it yet, but we found a family that's tried it. What do you think of the garlic ice cream? Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
What did it taste like? What did it taste like to you?
Garlic.
Yeah. Was it gritty or was it funny, or was it just good?
It was garlic.
Okay. And what did you think of the ice cream?
I liked it.
What's your favorite food here at the festival?
I liked the corn.
How about you? Do you like what's your favorite food besides the ice cream?
Garlic.
Garlic. You know what? You ought to be the garlic boy for the whole festival. Thank you very much. Did you guys get to try any of it yet?
No, we weren't brave enough to try it.
Go get it. Thanks for being good sports.
Thank you.
Bye. We're in search of ice cream.
Finally, folks, we found the garlic ice cream. Okay, well, I came to the Garlic Festival last year, and I came right at the end, and they'd run out of garlic ice cream. So that's why we've been looking for it all day. Right, Shannon?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got to have our ice cream. So we finally found the place.
So we're going to go and try it, and we're going to talk to somebody and find out all about it. Come with us.
Go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Free garlic ice cream. The best
Hey,
garlic
we
ice
got
cream in the world.
ice cream! We're here! Woo!
Can't get it any better. Can't beat the price.
And the guy next door will even put more garlic salt on it for
We
you.
got garlic sprinkles.
And you're watching CMAP on
Channel 20.
Anyway, Shannon, we've had a great time here. I'm so pleased that we were able to show your paintings and Monkey Made of Sockies, your book, your Wave Award and everything, and you are an absolute delight to work with.
Oh, thank you.
And to be able to join KMVT 15 and CMAP 20, we got to stick together in public access television. So I want to thank you for coming, and it's always a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you. I want to thank you for having me, and I just want to give you a little present because I'm really grateful that you had me on your wonderful show.
Oh, this is a first. I got a present. I hope it becomes a tradition. I'm going to take a little peek in here before we leave then. And of course, there's bright colours. There's yellow, there's green. And inside, oh my God, I just was going to go and buy a cutting. It's a cutting board. And this is a papaya and a mango. And it's a cutting board, and it's going to look really, really good on my side in the kitchen. Thank you, Shannon. You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
That's our program for today. We hope you've enjoyed it and will join us again. Copies of this program and all our programs are available on VHS or DVD. You can reach The Better Part through the Cupertino Senior Centre at 408-777-3150 or visit our website www.thebetterpart.com. Thank you for watching.